So our story continues with the mysterious darkened figure who had claimed to be the legendary fifth and most powerful of the 5 strongest in the multiverse, now standing upon a giant divine blade, which has now well and truly
okay, there's the 5th of the 5 strongest, okay.
Whoa! And Goku standing there, now cautiously, sensing the character is no ordinary figure, would just mumble with his single Seraphim eye. The 5th of the 5 strongest? Is he serious? His movements just now were unreal. Vegito, don't take too long in there. But true Black Demon Frieza, also watching on in his new form, would seemingly appear completely unimpressed, either by insecurity or total arrogance, as he spews out, "What an over-the-top entrance for killing an already beaten worm. If the 4th was that weak, I can bet this one will be just as much a waste of time. I'll let that monkey handle him if anything." But the blackened figure would then switch his sight down to Makoto below him, looking down before with a disgruntled, almost disappointed face, he would say, "Makoto, how very disappointing. You have single-handedly besmirched and embarrassed the name of the 5 strongest, and made the priest look like a fool too. You, a demon all along, hiding among us all this time like a snake in the grass. I'd smite you now down to the demon realm, but I think Dai will probably reward me something great for bringing you back alive." Before jumping up with speed,
he didn't kill him?
Landing with a
okay, so he's actually still alive, okay.
And light
I thought he killed him right there.
as suddenly, pockets of smoke begin to be released from not only his impact, but also from his dark skin itself. Huh? And Goku, watching on, would only be confused as the smoke begins to get bigger and bigger, as now the 5th is completely lost within its thickness until... Ha! So you're the guys who didn't
Wait, what was
as
this?
Unbelievably,
This
the true appearance of the 5th of the 5 strongest is then revealed, as what looks like a young teenage child, his entire appearance completely white, from his clothes to his hair to his skin and even his eyes. Everything about him as pure as his innocent stature, as he lets out, "Nice to meet you guys. My name is Light, the 5th of the 5 strongest."
Okay, Light, okay.
What? This has to be a joke! But Goku, seeing his unassuming appearance, would be completely shocked, unable to even accept the words of the young child as he comments, That kid's the 5th? No way. I can't even sense any kind of presence from him." Before now losing his sense of fear, he would immediately remember his true mission, as he thinks, "I haven't got time to be wondering if he's saying the truth. That kid has just stabbed Makoto, and he already didn't have much time left. I can't let him die before Vegito comes out. Every little bit of energy will help." And to that end, Goku would then make his move, vanishing forward before reappearing now right in front of the divine blade that is stabbed into Makoto, and behind Light as he slowly reaches his hand towards the handle to pull it out, and hopefully keep Makoto alive just a little while longer. Huh? You! But just as his hand would reach millimeters away from the handle, the young, youthful-looking Light would instantly appear right in front of Goku, his hand already grabbing the handle of the blade, asserting his dominance as he looks
Damn,
up
Light
at the
was hella
perplexed
fast right
Sage.
there. What the?
And looking up unfazed and not in the slightest bit worried about Goku, Light would just question, "Hey, you do realize this is my sword, right? I don't know who taught you your manners, but you shouldn't touch the property of others. It might just leave you in a whole heap of trouble one day." But Goku, wide-eyed, would not respond, despite his face spelling out just how surprised he is, as you would think. He did it again! I couldn't even react to him appearing. Is that just how fast he is? Or is it something else? Who is this kid? But holding onto the blade, Light would just say, as if able to read Goku's thoughts, "And you should probably stop thinking I'm a kid for your own sake. I've lived for thousands of years, even longer than this pathetic demon below my blade. How old are you again?" Huh? Thousands of years? Surprising Goku now even more visibly this time, as he steps back.
I mean, I expect all of the members of the Five to have lived a long time,
meanwhile,
right?
without a shred of remorse or empathy, would then pull his sword out viciously, leading to the blood demon Makoto to scream out in agony once more. As Light would just comment, "Surprised you're even alive, Makoto. Guess you live up to our name a little." Before then shifting to a smirk and swiping his sword back as if ready to attack Goku, Light would say, "But with one demon down, it's only right I take the other one too. That horned one over there looks just like one of the demon emperors.
Okay.
What was his name again? Isa?" Before so fast that it shoots straight past Goku before he can even barely react, Light would then toss his giant, divine blade, still stained with the blood of Makoto, straight at Frieza instead. What? And the previously just folding his arms Frost Demon, watching on, would have
Frieza
no
is
choice but
shook
to
right
unlock
now.
his
Okay.
arms and panic in the extremely short time he has to react. But with his all-new full-powered form, Frieza would just about manage to jump straight up, avoiding the blade entirely. But as the blade would move, something unusual would begin to happen as it begins to fade from sight. Frieza, meanwhile, though, would not take notice, just pleased that he found a way to escape, as he thinks calmly internally, having escaped all danger. And yet again, these freaks all seem to have a problem with me. I didn't even say anything to this one. Perhaps they truly do see the great demon Lucif within me. Yes, that must be it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But just as Frieza would begin to relax, shockingly from the
Trunks
sky up
callback,
above,
bro?
Light would be seen wielding his giant sword with both arms, screaming out loud as he drops down like a meteorite,
It's just like
ready
Trunks,
to turn
man.
true
That's
Black Demon
crazy.
Frieza into cold cuts in an extremely familiar scene. Wait! What? As Frieza, stunned into place via shock or even PTSD, cannot even move, as within nanoseconds, Light's blade would arrive straight on his forehead. But not caring at all for Frieza's past, Light would continue screaming as he readies his blade, yelling as he does so, "One down!" What?
Oh,
But
what?
just as that blade would come down, Son Goku would appear once more to save Frieza's hide.
Oh, wow.
Stopping the blade instantly by grabbing it with both hands. He's grimacing so hard as he tries his best and grumbles, "I'm not letting you do what you want! Frieza, get away from here!" But as Light is frozen in place, pushing his sword down onto Goku, even he would be surprised that he would be stopped. Also, more surprised by something else, as finally he has a good look at Goku and realizes, "You stopped me? That's got to be some kind of joke. Wait, what is that I see? That eye? Where the hell did you get that?" As Goku grunting back with his right Seraphim eye wide open now will just respond, "I got it myself! You're really strong!" And so grunting louder and louder, trying his best to push back against the powerful child, Goku's hair would slowly begin to spike as he says,
Oh, he's transforming now?
"I'm going to have to take this one step further for you, aren't I?" As suddenly he would power up, with now his hair turning cyan blue, and his power instantly skyrocketing as a result. Immediately then using the boosted power to then suddenly toss
Goku,
Light's
bro,
blade straight onto the ground, overpowering him briefly. Even the fifth would be taken surprise and wonder, what did this freak just do? First a Seraphim eye, and now this? And thinking deeply, soon the observations of Light become far more troubling. As he reflects, I can't tell if either of these guys are the God Killer. But no one told me one of these mortals would be a Seraphim. It seems incomplete as it is now, though. I'm not in the mood to use too much of my power, so I better put him down now. As suddenly, just like with the Divine Blade before, Light's body would begin to dematerialize in an unusual way until... With insane speed and ridiculous strength from such a small frame, Light would suddenly appear, slamming his fist down on Seraphim Goku's face, leaving the previously all-powerful Saiyan to wince in pain as blood splatters out of his mouth. Sending Goku's body flying away as Light would comment, "Yep, it's incomplete alright. You can't even see my movements with that eye." Eventually leading to Goku's body landing roughly on the ground below, on one knee and one hand to balance himself, as his face continues to scrunch up from dealing from the sheer power of Light's single blow. But with time, Goku's face would return to normal, as looking up at Light, something would begin to click internally. As he introspects, the way he just moved, the force of that attack, the way he acts, there's something familiar about this guy, something that's off. He reminds me of the priest. As Goku then begins to think back to his brief run-ins with the Daishinkan when he first met Zeno, and also as a part of Vegito when he was knocked unconscious from behind. But in true Saiyan fashion, Goku would soon just rub the blood off his chin and leave a smirk, as he looks to Light now with some enthusiasm, letting out, "But what else could I expect from the strongest of the five? I really wonder what his background is. He almost reminds me of a Saiyan. Vegito really is going to enjoy battling him, so I better make the most of this while I can. But elsewhere, another one of the warriors of the Pyramid of Power would not be so pleased, as vigorously shaking with anger and rage,
Frieza would have died
Frieza
right there.
would begin grumbling.
Crazy.
How dare this child arrive and make a fool of me? Fit or not, nobody is stronger than the Emperor of the Universe, the heir of Lucifer. I will not stand around and let that monkey Son Goku save me again either. This is not Namek. As if a truly demonic
Frieza.
and monstrous roar, true black demon
show
Frieza
light up, bro.
would finally begin letting loose once more. For the first time since leaving the pyramid, now showing a hint of effort, as thick bolts of black lightning would begin to surround his entire body, and splodges of spit would burst out from his monstrous yell. And as he powers up, a huge aura encircles his body, creating dark shockwaves that blow all over, as Goku too braces himself watching on. And as we zoom in on Goku's now cautious looking face, even he would begin becoming alarmed at what progress Frieza is showing, having not seen him for the better part of a decade now, as he thinks, damn, Frieza, he really stepped his game up while I was training with Vegito. Didn't he go with Black? If Frieza's jumped this far, I wonder how strong he got. Where even is he? But meanwhile,
where
in a
is he?
complete
Yeah, that's a good question.
contrast, Light would just remain with his hands in his pockets, watching on as his white hair blows in the wind, swaying back and forth as not even the debris breaking on his face would cause him to blink once, with only him whispering, these two are pretty noisy. A half-baked Seraphim, and I guess this is supposed to be a half-baked demon. But eventually, loud or not, Frieza's power-up would complete, his body almost covered in black demonic flames, as from within, he is seen with a calm and emotionless face, his eyes closed until...
Oh, wait, he has the red
Finally,
eyes too?
In shocking fashion, Frieza would open his eyes to reveal they are now blood red, just like a certain true demon we have come to know. As Frieza himself would say, now, I will begin using Lucifer's power itself to annihilate all of you! Frieza! As Goku, now completely reacting in shock, would begin to realize...
Bro, what has Goku
those
Black turned
eyes,
into, bro?
Those red eyes are the same as Vegito's! He said if he used those too much, he'd get closer and closer to Lucifer taking over! Is that what Frieza's using too? As Frieza,
Frieza actually looks kind of like scary right
readying himself for battle with the Fifth, would now let off a smirk, saying, I have to thank you for waiting, Light. You, just like these monkeys, seem to love a challenge. And now that I am ready, I will gladly show you once and for all who the true strongest in the multiverse is. As while Frieza would be saying this, his body would begin vanishing mysteriously. And ultimately, the vanishing would result in Frieza launching a sneaky surprise
Damn, Light blocked it,
instantly
okay.
appearing to slam his fist on Light, but unfortunately, removing just one hand from his pockets, as with his palm alone and no change in his facial expression, Light would stop Frieza's mighty punch right in its tracks. What? Leaving unbemused Frieza, tapped into the so-called power of Lucif to question, my eyes deceive me? No, this is not happening again! As removing his fist quickly from Light's palm, with a vicious growl and grimace on his face, Frieza would begin turning his body rapidly, picking up speed in his tail behind, ready to slash it across Light instead. But Light, still unblinking and just remaining ominously quiet, would just duck his head and stare on before, in a wave of slashes, the screen would turn black. And once the scene would return, Light would be seen straight behind Frieza somehow, and for some reason, his sword in hand once more.
Wait, where did he get his sword
somehow
from?
Having vanished and rematerialized once again. Wait, what? And when we see Frieza's frank shell-shocked
I was expecting
face,
Frieza to do
it
something.
begins to dawn that Light may have done more than just move out of Frieza's way. As suddenly, dropping to the ground like a heavy bag of meat, Frieza's now mutilated tail would instantly drop to the ground. So fast, blood hasn't even had time.
He didn't even
seep
punch
out.
him. I was expecting at least for him to punch him.
You didn't! Leaving Frieza to quickly turn his head around in disbelief, looking behind to his backside to see a flat stump before... What did you do to me? Screaming in utter pain, agony, and fury,
Oh my
Frieza
gosh,
would finally realize what had just happened to him. Damn you all! And with the whole tail removed, it would appear the pain would truly be next level. As flying down rapidly like an unhappy child, Frieza would slam both his fists onto the floor as he continues to scream a blood-curdling screech. While Light, just looking back now from above, would comment callously, sorry, but didn't you say earlier to my colleague Makoto that your tail was weighing you down? I just did you a favor, didn't I? Just as you did to him, mortal. As adding insult to injury, Light would just remind Frieza that he did the exact same to the Blood Demon, and thus was only experiencing karma. And watching on, Goku, who was at first surprised with Frieza's power, would now be left near speechless at how badly he would be beaten by this new child, mumbling, He's not on our level. He's way too strong. You will pay, I promise you! But true Black Demon Frieza, of course not hearing a word of Goku's, would be blinded by rage and a need for revenge, shooting up immediately towards the fifth regardless. As the continuing to smile Light would just toss his blade up into the sky and say as Frieza approached, usually demons know to give up once I cut off their tails, but you're a fun one it seems. I'll take my time smiting you then. Shut your mouth! I am Lord Frieza! Leading to an enraged Frieza getting himself ready to kick the fifth. As Light, just smirking away, would
Frieza is so
respond,
funny.
Frieza, huh? You'll fit just right in the demon realm with a name like that. Unfortunately, you'll be far too weak to ever become an emperor down there, though. And as Frieza's fully powered kick would then launch, Light would simply just make it miss by ducking his small body down. And while ducked down, still maintaining eye contact with a smile, Light would explain, you know, those who cannot arise to the level of a demon emperor are destined to live the ultimate hell. Beatings and death non-stop for eternity. That's why so many dream of escaping. So enjoy your time in this realm while you can. Weaklings like you and Makoto are going to wish you never showed your faces around me. I've lived in worse hells for decades! Your threats mean nothing to me! As Frieza, who thinks back to the hell he was forced to face before being revived, just cocks back his fist, regardless and without fear until... Of course, he would miss in time. Only for Light to reappear behind him, back again with his hand in his pockets, as Frieza begins. Why, you little... Come here, brat! What? Until, as if following his orders instantaneously, Light would then appear right in front of Frieza in touching distance, smirking as he goads him. Okay, I'm here now. Now what, Frieza? Leaving the infuriated Frieza to try fruitlessly to grab the evasive fifth with both arms. Of course, grabbing thin air in the process. I'm tired of this! I trained for too long! I went through too much for this to happen! Causing Frieza to now nearly lose his mind from just how outclassed he seems to be. Where are you? But as this would happen, it would soon become clear that Light would no longer even be around anywhere, as Frieza would then desperately look around, while Goku 2 down below would notice all of this. His face still stunned as he realizes, even with his Seraphim eye that can see the movements of even Vegito, none of Light's movements seem trackable. With the Saiyan muttering, there's nothing to see, nothing to sense. He's not even vanishing with just super speed. It's something completely different. I can't even sense any kind of energy from him, godly or not. Over here, you demon wannabe. As leaving both warriors totally lost in their thoughts. Light would then re-emerge, sitting nonchalantly already, sat down on a nearby rock formation. A smile on his face as he calls out to Frieza. Well, are you just going to stand there gawking like a fool? If you're the God Killer, you're a joke. Do not ever talk to Lucifer like that! And Frieza, continuing to lose himself, would now even begin to think of himself as Lucifer in time. Before... I will rip you to shreds for what you've done! As lifting his arm up in Frieza fashion, he would begin powering up an energy attack, not be his usual Death Ball. Death Ball Barrage! As easily shooting shooting out a truly insane sequence of multiple black death beams, each moving at the speed of light. The deadly energy attacks would rain down, causing untold levels of destruction down below. And in the aftermath, a huge crater formulated from each of Frieza's pinpointed sniper shots would be left, with one smoking target in the middle. Yes! As a prematurely overjoyed Frieza would sport a giant grin as he laughs and lets out, "You may be fast, but nothing outspeeds my death beams. Not least 1,000 of them. Rest in pieces, you rat." But that misplaced confidence would soon come crashing down when something would catch his eye. Something that would show just how much of a gulf in power difference there was between him and his foe. As standing there back with his hands in his pockets,
yeah, he just need to give
Light
up
would
at
be
this point,
seen
man. This is
without
finished.
a scratch and surrounded in what looks like a divine white barrier of energy, pulsating strong as if nothing Frieza had done could cause him any harm. With the fifth just adding, to set the record straight by the way, I could have dodged all of those at any time. I just felt like enjoying the light show. But now, I have a much better one to show you in return. As with a dark and devious turn in his tone, Light would then duck his head down with a suspicious smirk before... What? In that very instant, he would appear right by Frieza's side, still surrounded by his divine protective energy, as Frieza can barely move his body in time with his eyes in response. But it wouldn't stop him on instinct alone to clench his fist and at least try his best to defend himself. Attacking straight at the sphere of energy, protecting Light without fear until... in a brutal cracking of bones, true Black Demon Frieza's wrist would snap instantly on contact. All the while, the fifth just remained silently watching with a smile, like seeing a zoo exhibit.
Oh, I look, he felt something right there.
Damn you! As of course, in reaction,
bro, that's like a Moro
moment
right there,
would
bro.
bellow out in agony, grabbing onto his now damaged wrist. As curiously, Light would ironically begin to glow brightly, before ominously saying, "Enough of this. Time to show you that light show of mine. Enjoy." Shocking the still in pain Frieza, as slowly, Light either is lost within the ball or disappears entirely, while the ball of energy seemed to get brighter and brighter. And the result would be clear. A moderate explosion that just leaves smoke in its wake after. What was that? As Frieza in its aftermath would be left a broken man, damaged and feeble on the ground, supporting himself on just one knee, wondering just why that one attack had affected him so much in particular. And still watching on with his cyan hair, Goku would wonder the same, thinking, that attack didn't even feel that strong. It barely even caused much of an explosion. Why did it hurt Frieza so much? But Light, amused by the confusion, with a smile would then explain, "Like I said, child, the smiting of demons is a god's job, not a mortal's. I imbued that little attack with a little bit of divine smiting energy. He should be feeling the burn for a while now, and just weak enough for me to enjoy these final moments with him. And trust me, I will enjoy this. As opening his eyes with a bloodthirsty and focused look, Light would begin readying himself for the final blow on the Emperor of the Universe. As he would finally then remove his hands from his pocket slowly, before with one hand out in front, he would let out cockily, "Listen up, Frieza. I'm going to attack you for real now. Manage to dodge this, and you win. But if you lose, you die. Now, watch closely."
Oh,
What? But just as
him.
Light would begin readying this, from his side, a mysterious gloved hand would land a fist straight on his face, causing the first sign of blood to leave the fifth since his arrival. Sending him awkwardly rolling backwards across the ground.
Even Frieza couldn't get a hit in
before
there.
eventually regaining himself, digging a hand into the ground. You've got to be kidding me! You can never leave me alone, can you? As Light, looking on, would see who his attacker was, and to his anger, it would appear to be someone he was all too familiar with.
Hey, yo, Yamoshi?
One bit.
Wait, what?
As shockingly standing there would be Yamoshi, having trained himself for the last 20 years and seemingly all by himself. The legendary first true Super
All by
Saiyan
himself.
God in history
Wait, what?
would emerge, his body battle scarred and his hair now different and tied up, as it seems an ultimate battle between two of the 5 strongest in the multiverse is now about to begin. But just how strong Yamoshi is now is yet to be seen.
This was a this was a funny episode, man. Frieza, I don't know if you guys found it funny, but bro, Frieza is a comedian, man. Like, oh my gosh, bro. His rage and like that whole Moro arm moment, like that was funny, bro. But I'm gonna give this one a solid. What do I give this? I'll probably give this one like a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. Yamoshi, bro, I was not expecting Yamoshi here. Like he was absent the whole training arc, and then now he just pops up out of nowhere. He was doing solo training. Like, I am curious to see how strong he got, because I mean, if you train with other people, it would have been like explosive growth. But I mean, I guess we have to see what the first ever Super Saiyan God can do, right? So I guess we'll go ahead and see. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Of course, I'll see you guys in the next episode. And until then, peace out.